Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First, I want to thank Gar for letting me share this segment with you tonight. Okay. This short bonus segment you are about to see is called, in my opinion, Where is the Stock Market Going and How Can We Benefit? Keep in mind, everything you are about to see is all in theory, but there will be a filter available on PowerScan associated to each theory I'm about to show you. This is our home planet, planet Earth. This is a real satellite image of what the Earth looks like from outer space. Very beautiful image. This is the most downloaded image on Google Images in the history of time. And we are people, the most intelligent life on Earth that populate Earth. So I put little people here, and we are growing in numbers. As time moves forward, we are populating the Earth with more people, and we have been for many, many years. So the point is, the world population is growing and will continue to grow. Now, that what you're looking at now is a graph of the world population growth and projections by the United Nations. As you can see, right here is when this graph begins. When the world population is at 1 billion strong and starting to form new nations like the United States of America. At the beginning of the blue line signifies the baby boomers. This is where a lot of people here experience this era. And today, 2011, 6.9 billion people, and the population is still growing. The next lines you see, we have a green line, an orange line, and a red line. The green line, these are all projections for where the world population is going in the future. The green line is a low conservative estimate. The orange line is a medium and a likely estimate to how the world population will play out. And the red line is a very high estimate to how the world population will play out. Keep in mind, there have been many studies that say the Earth can sustain an estimated 9.9 billion people. So we essentially, what I'm trying to show you is we still have another 3 billion people of growth before the estimated number is reached. Okay, so what does this have to do with the stock market? What does another 3 billion in possible population growth mean for the stock market? So this is my quote. Over the time that most of us will exist, there will be thousands of companies and stocks that grow and expand relative to time and human population growth. And I believe this with all my heart. Any company that benefits directly from growth in human population will benefit relative to that in the stock market. Not all companies and stocks will benefit and grow, but the ones that will benefit the most from population growth are, in my opinion, artificial intelligence growth companies. And what I mean by that is an artificial intelligence growth company is any company that is majority based on non-human services to expand. So there are thousands and thousands of companies out there that meet this criteria. As an example, I expect a company like Netflix to at least double in value with a 3 billion person population growth over time. The reason is because they get more subscriptions to their service, but because their service is based on artificial intelligence, their overhead costs do not go up relative to population growth. Only their sales do. So there's a segment, stocks growing with time. This is Netflix. Okay, this is 1 year of Netflix. Let's look at some more. This is Apple. Apple growing with time. Why? The more humans, the more iPods. And the list goes on. Amazon. The Amazon Kindle is a great application, the Amazon Kindle is going to get a lot of sales. The more humans there are reading books, the more sales Amazon gets without having to raise overhead costs very much. Baidu, the more people that search engines service, the more value in Baidu. So stocks growing with time. There are two things that all of these stocks have in common that I want to point out right now. One, they can expand relative to human population growth without suffering a heavy increase in overhead costs. And it's not just these 4 stocks. There are probably thousands of stocks out there, in theory, that can fit with this one here. The problem with these stocks is number 2. Their potential value is already priced in the current value. Okay, so that's the problem with these 4 stocks. The potential value already priced in the current value. So, if my theory is true about the stock market going up and humans expanding and some of these stocks taking off, then we want to find stocks that the potential value isn't priced in the current value yet. And I have been doing that. So this is spike theory. This brings us to spike theory. This is one way we can benefit from the stock market going up. Because I believe the stock market is generally going up over the time that we will exist, I invented spike theory. Spike theory is currently defined as when a stock spikes up a large price in a small amount of time under heavy amounts of volume or positive momentum, the odds that the stock will continue going up over time are very high. The stock may undergo an immediate pullback, profit-taking, or correction by the little guy, but in the end, the stock will continue expansion and go higher than that point in a matter of time. The idea is that we are finding stocks spiking up in real time where the price of that stock is still substantially lower than its potential value and the potential growth it will have over time. Let's look at an example. Okay, this is VHC. This is the first appearance on Devon Spike 2.0 for VHC was March 21st, 2011, and when it was around $12. It is trading at right now, I think $27.30 or something around there. Close to 110% gains in 3 weeks. So let's go ahead and basically this stock has been sitting in my filter for almost 3 weeks. It started appearing more frequently during these larger spikes that you see. So let's go ahead and zoom in on one of these days. We're going to look at intraday. This is March 29th, 2011. This was one of the days when I was really talking about VHC in our forum. I saw this early morning level 1 spike formation with tons of volume. Okay? What happens is you'll see the profit taking, the red, and it'll grind sideways for a bit while the day traders mess around. But then the big funds that know it's going up, for whatever reason, these people know it's going up, they'll buy it back up again. Then you'll see a second level spike formation. It'll happen again. You'll see a third level spike formation. The early AM spike formations are usually the biggest ones, and then you'll see smaller spike levels later in the day. Okay? So the total intraday gains for VHC on March 29, 2011, 13.47%. The average gain per spike level is 2.69%. So theoretically, if you entered on any of these spike levels, you would have gained an average of 2.69%, varying from 1 to 5%, depending on the time period. So that's spike theory. Next theory I'm going to give you is gamma ray burst theory. Gamma ray burst theory is defined as when a stock bursts up with an enormous amount of momentum, price, and volume, there is usually a good reason for it. and the stock is very likely to eventually go above that point over time. This is a virtual image of a gamma ray burst. A gamma ray burst is actually the most powerful object in the known universe. Now, we don't have gamma ray bursts on planet Earth, but we do have money, and money is one of the most powerful objects on our planet. So the idea behind a gamma ray burst with volume. Stocks are usually bought in huge volumes in a small period of time for a reason. $1.275 billion were invested in LO on March 18th. Okay? Now, do you really think that $1.27 billion were invested in LO by some schmucks? Come on now, do you really think that if they didn't buy so many shares of this stock at a increasing price, they didn't think it was going to go higher than that point over time? Did they not know something? So the initial profit taking does happen after a gamma ray burst. It will happen. It's inevitable. It's the balance of the universe. But since it usually is for a good reason, the forces of the gamma ray burst are strong, and it goes above that point over time. Also, by the way, LO would be considered an artificial intelligence growth company because they benefit. Here's how it works. They benefit from higher population growth in humans because more people smoke menthol cigarettes. But at the same time, their overhead costs don't increase relative to that because machines roll their cigarettes. So there's more people to smoke the cigarettes, but they don't have to pay more to manufacture the cigarettes. And so this would be an artificial intelligence company that grows over time. Let's look at some more. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. That's all I have for you tonight. By the way, the inverse of gamma ray burst theory is black hole theory. I'm not going to share that tonight. I will be releasing 3 new filters available on PowerScan. I will be releasing 3 new filters available on PowerScan: Devon Spike 2.0, gamma ray bursts, and black hole. And because I believe the stock market still has a lot of growing to do, theories like spike theory and gamma ray theory can be very profitable when used methodically. Thank you all for watching and listening. I will keep you updated on my visions and theories. Happy trading. Until then, good night.